Hey guys, I'm Ron Bass, and today I am here with Mr. Home Arcade. You guys might know him. I want to give him a chance to say what's up and introduce his channel to us. So, how you doing,
Hey,
man?
hey, what's up, everybody? I'm doing pretty good. Mr. Home Arcade. I do a whole bunch of Motu content, whole bunch of skits and reviews, a whole bunch of shit like that. That's what I'm into.
All right, so first, I wanted to get your knowledge about like your He-Man, I guess your personal experiences with He-Man over the years and being in and out with the fan base. Like, what's your history with He-Man?
That's a good question. Well, back when I was younger, I used to collect all types of toys and stuff, and I always loved Masters of the Universe. So when it finally came out to the Origins line, when you ain't grown up, I ended up losing a whole bunch of them figures, shit like that. But when it came down to the Origins line, and I seen that shit, I had to jump back in it. And I always collected other stuff like that. But them old toys that we grew up with, like Thundercats and TMNT, stuff like that. I grew a liking to that. I grew up watching the cartoons, all that stuff. So, right, you know what I'm saying? When this hobby came out with the whole Origins line, I had to jump in it. And then, but before that, I used to collect a whole bunch of home arcades and stuff. That's where the name came from. But that kind of got old to me pretty fast. You know what I mean? So I ended up switching up the hobbies and I went full head in with this whole Motu stuff. So now I'm at a point to where it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? In my whole area, I got 2 rooms in Motu, a whole back room filled with just I keep adding to it every day. It's an addiction, but it's a healthy one. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much how it all started.
So, were you like aware of like the classics line or like the 2000X stuff?
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't even know. You know what I mean? At a certain point in time, I was, it had my marriage going on, the kids, you know what I'm saying, growing up. So I didn't even know that the whole classics line came out. I missed the whole thing. I didn't know until years later after it came out. You know what I mean? Actually, to be honest, I didn't even remember finding out until Origins was going on. And then I found out they had a whole line that went on for 7, 10 plus years with a whole bunch of figures. I was like, God damn, I missed out. You know what I mean? So I still go back and get a couple of them classic figures, and I just break them down and turn them into Origins. You know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't know.
See, it's funny because there's like I noticed like there's two parts to the fan base. There's the ones that were kind of like the gatekeepers, like I'm from the older part of the He-Man.org and the fan base that started in the early 2000s with the 2000X coming in back in and getting into the classics and being the whole part of the chaos that was the classics, which honestly you missed nothing. I'm not gonna lie, because the chaos of classics was a whole unique it's in a way it was like a bonding experience between the fan base. You'll see with the classics line was a figure every month that you had to buy exclusively from a website, and then you'd have these support groups because just like any other fan base site, they would crash and you'd be online with your coworkers or friends. Like you got the white screen of death, and you can't get stupid Hordak, and Hordak's not available because it sold out in 5 seconds. And it was really like you see that fan base that kind of grew with that, and that started with the whole PowerCon and of course the He-Man.org stuff. And then you got the other side who just found out about it, which is so amazing because I would think like, when something goes to retail and it's a toy line, even though it's got a fan base for 40 years, you would think, well, it'll be more kids, but it's so unique to see older fans that just didn't weren't aware of classics 2000X and just kind of like they walk into the store, all of a sudden, what's that? And you're like, and they jump back in. So it's this real kind of like two-part fan base, like the older fan base that's been around for the whole classics line, and all the new guys coming around from the origins line. Um, with that perspective of yours, have having that different perspective on the fan base, do you see in these groups on these pages like gatekeepers or people who are just like so like refuse to accept both?
Well, you know what? I don't really go on the Facebook or nothing like that, so I don't really see that type of
Hmm.
stuff. And even on YouTube, yeah, I don't see it too much. Shit, I didn't know about, like I said, even 2000X. Like, I didn't really know about that line. but that's not a line that I necessarily like
Mm,
because of the articulation.
yeah.
It ain't there. You know what I mean? They're just many statues. What am I going to do with that shit? Now, I have been getting a couple of the vehicles. Like, I got some squid vehicles, some shit that look pretty decent. You know what I mean? A couple other little things. But that's it. I'm not trying to mess with that line. The classics, on the other hand, shit's pretty impressive. It's very robust. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Especially the Snake Mountain and the Castle Grayskull. That shit is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm still debating where to get one. A buddy of mine, who was it? Hold on, let me think. Let me think. Somebody mentioned they was gonna get me one, and I'm thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I want to pull the trigger. It's a lot of
Honestly,
money.
the Origins one is perfectly acceptable. The Classics one's cool. It's massive. Obviously, with you already have Eternia from the Mattel. You already have Snake Mountain. You already have your custom Fright Zone that you have made, and uh, buying another Castle Grayskull just because it's a Classics isn't really. I had it, I owned it, and I sold it because it was just far too large to keep.
What?
Yeah.
Why would you sell it to that? That's like a nice keepsake. You know what I mean? Especially if you was into the classics line.
I have an apartment in Brooklyn, so you choose the you choose what
I
can fit. You choose what
feel
can
it. I
fit. Yeah,
say
yeah.
you still got your classics figures.
I have sold most of my classics, and then the classics that I've kept, I've used for customs for the Origin line, like how you've been doing with that. For me, it's when I had the classics and I had the power because I used to work with PowerCon. I used to help out with PowerCon, so I used to get all the figures for free from PowerCon. So I got like the Granomir and like all that stuff, and uh, but I tended to like only I kept the ones I wanted to keep, and then as Origins came around, I'm like, well, these are a little bit smaller. They got all the articulation and the ability to easily customize was very appealing. So I decided to like, I'll sell the classics, keep the ones I wanted, and I just started like the Castle Grayskull man figure. I don't know if they're going to make an Origins version, so I have the classics version. My friend Daniel Benedict, actually, that was his figure. He made that figure, and that was from his the creator contest back in the day, and that was such a cool, unique character. And it's a lot of those creator contest winners, or like they had like figures like the Fearless Photog and Sir
So
Laser-Lot.
lays a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just made his ass last week.
See that I want to see those guys in Origins, but my fear is because they're tied to certain people. Sir Laser-Lot was a figure that was created by a writer who's worked on the comics as like a favor to him for working on the book. I don't know how much that could be made in Origins without the approval from the guy. So that's why I feel like making customs for that kind of figures is the best thing because it's like I don't know what Mattel did to get the rights to make those. I mean, usually you think Mattel being a corporation would like sign off and sign this in blood and just let us have it. But also with those fans, and let me tell you, when Sir Laser-Lot came out in the classics, people weren't the classics fan base were like beyond mad because it was like well,
That's crazy.
it's like who is this figure? This guy stuff from my childhood, and they were all mad. And then the figure came out, and they all bought it, like they always do. But it
That's
was
it's a nice looking figure. I like it.
yeah. The weapons, especially the translucent weapons, everything about that figure is such a cool because it's basically like a space knight is what it is. It's a space knight kind of character. He appeared in a mini comic that was done for digital only. So when they were doing the classics line, they started to jump into mini comics, but the figures didn't come with mini comics. So what they did was the digital only mini comics that was on DC's download site at the time. I don't know if it's even available anymore. And that's where Sir Laser-Lot's appearance appeared. He appeared like in a prequel to like some short story or whatever. And that was all we got until the end mini comics that happened that when the classics was near the end, they made it like a three-part mini comic kind of telling the story after the end of whatever with the Eternia place that kind of big future battle. So all those characters appeared for like the last time. But those figures are cool. And Claxus is being as cool as it is. Origins has really, really, I think, got people well. And I think what happened was, I think channels like yours have really made people open up more to the idea of it. Because some people, like, I've seen fans that I've known for a long time, they would pick up the Masterverse because they had classics. Masterverse kind of fit in the same scale. But Origins was kind of like, I don't want to go back. And they were against it. Then they started seeing channels. I'm getting messages like, "Hey, have you seen this guy's channel? Have you seen this guy's channel?" And like, "Yo, this guy Mr. Home Arcade, he's hysterical. I was looking at his video. I picked up some of the figures." And I'm like, "Oh, all right." See, it just
I'm
takes someone.
shocked.
It's
I'm
true.
shocked to hear shit like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Especially like I said, from my perspective of how long being part of these fan bases and how people start asking, like me, like I know everybody, like, "Oh, you're a YouTube guy, so you know him." I'm like, absolutely, I don't. I watch his videos just like you do. Don't know him, but I get it, and it's so cool because your enthusiasm and your joke videos and how you make like the commercials and how you tell these stories and how you're just your energy and your pure like honest reaction makes people like fall in love with the line again. And I know it's a weird thing to say, but we're being like I come from the history of being a reviewer professionally. I've toy companies would send me stuff to review, and you could tell when I'm phoning it in or when I'm honest. I have never seen a video that you've done that I haven't felt like he meant to buy that, like he was happy to buy that. So like, how do you ever get that feeling that sometimes you're not like, I don't know how I'm feeling about it. I don't want to be too negative. Do you have to fight with yourself when you're making a video to get that energy?
Not it. I just call it how I see it. If something looks like shit, I'm gonna call it a piece of shit. You know what I mean? I'm just so impressed with the Motu Origins line. You know what I mean? Like even now, let's just say that snake layer that they just showed off in San Diego Comic Con, there was a whole lot of controversy and backlash. A whole lot of fans. It was like, "Oh, that's not my snake layer. That's not what I voted for." That shit was hot. What is your picture for? Now I know it didn't look like you know what I'm saying? What we voted for, what it looked like in some of the promotional art or whatnot. But what they said that back then is they was just trying to give us more. You know what I mean? And I think they accomplished just that. I'm worried that now that they're going to downgrade it, that we're going to miss out on some of those features, like that vehicle. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Some of the rooms that were on the inside of that snake layer. I'm not trying to miss out. I'm actually trying to get that prototype.
Hmm.
I reached out to Tom, like, "What's up? What do I got to do?" I didn't hear nothing back. You
He
know what I mean? But
won't.
I want it.
Uh,
Shit.
well, it's so funny about that is that like that's where I feel the disconnect of the fan bases is that a lot of the newer fans that are jumping in, I hear the weirdest questions, and like being an older statesman, I sit there going like, you we have so much knowledge out there now. There's great Dark Horse books that have the history of He-Man. They have a lot of the full collection of the mini comics, and they have prototypes. The Power and Honor Foundation made books showing stuff that was never released and was all saved and archived by a lot of great He-Man fans. It wasn't Mattel that archived the history. So what you're seeing in that what they showed off at San Diego impressed the shit out of me for one reason. That vehicle that you were talking about, that was a prototype that was never made. They actually that was designed from years ago, and they were able to incorporate into the thing. And then I think the ones who were complaining are the ones that had no idea. They're sitting there going, "Why do I want that? That's stupid." It's like, but that's actually from they put stuff into that prototype that was stuff for the older fans to go, "Oh yeah, I remember like in like 2002 there was a picture showed up online and that was that prototype of the snake vehicle. It was supposed to be a thing and it never got made. And they made it. Here it is." And then like the fans were mad about it, comparing it to the Imagine X snake playset. And you're sitting there going, but it's also a retail, well, I guess it wouldn't be a retail for the price, but it's meant to go with a retail toy line where you have to appease not just adult collectors, but kids that want to play with it. And I feel like the more uh is it called toyeticness would make that playset cool. I mean, I've seen lots of customizers, 3D custom guys that are making like the original snake layer that you saw in the prototype, and which is that's all cool and well, but as a toy company, they're creating something that has never been made before. I mean, the snake layer was not a thing. The original snake layer concept that they had from the 80s looked nothing like any of that, which is fine. I feel like I think what the people who are complaining kind of just wanted the fright zone. I think that's really, really what it boiled down to. I feel like when you see that and you see them talking, going, "Oh, that's not what I voted for." Most likely, they probably voted for Fright Zone because I feel like a lot of fans would have voted for that.
Man, let me think. That snake layer, it won hands down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they do the Frank zone, I still think they still should do it because it came from the vintage line, and they did say they was going to do everything from the vintage. back in Origins. And here in the Horde, evil Horde, they need that shit. You know what I mean? Even though the vintage one, it still works. It works well. I tested every single vintage vehicle. Damn near 99% of them work with Origins. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So that's why I like surprisingly, when my buddy of mine made me that Fright Zone slime pit playset,
yeah,
it was right around that time, so it worked out. You know what I mean? And I kind of wish Mattel would do something like that.
yeah.
Combine the two and just give us something massive like that. It's simple.
You
I don't
know,
know. This is how I feel.
I know I agree with you. I just feel like Mattel tends to do this over the years where it's like the course would think you would do it exactly like the vintage thing. But this figure came out, this, and people's brains going, well, this came out first, and then this, and make this figure. And now the problem with that is that logistics. That's the biggest line that Mattel always said back during classics. Logistics. We're not going to make Rio Blast first because logistics. We can make Scareglow because he's basically a repaint of Skeletor's body, and then and you get that, and it's fine. Now, as we're coming longer in this line, and you're seeing like you saw in the you were talking about San Diego, you saw the Rio Blast prototype, you saw these different figures, and now you come into more figures that have original tooling. Seeing the Snake playset, the Fright Zone, like you said, it's such an easy thing. But I feel like the concentration has been a little bit all over. Like with Mattel personally, I feel they always kind of like get excited and they have not take their pills and they kind of go like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and they throw things out all over the place. And it sometimes I think for a fan base, especially a very dedicated fan base like He-Man fans, they kind of lose like their patience with the lack of focus. Like if you're going to do Origins, you should have just stuck with Origins. If you've done Masterverse, you should have just done Masterverse. Um, I see when you make your customs, I see you pull from all the different lines. Is there any line that you haven't incorporated into Origins yet from any toy line? Because you pull from NECA. I saw your Alf custom. Me, my wife, and my daughter were looking through you. You're showing like your shelf with all the customs. And I was like, is that a that is that a Smurf? I'm like, that's fucking awesome. So like,
Oh yeah, I got what is that guy? I got Papa Smurf. I got a couple different Smurf. I got a what is that? What's the word I'm looking at? See, I'm losing my train of thought. A flasher Smurf. You know
yeah,
what I mean? These guys little tingling out. I got it all. You know what I mean? I'll pull from anything. Me personally, the Origins Buck is my favorite Buck ever. I will take any action figure. I don't give a shit how much it is. I bought $100 RoboCop figure just for the head. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just so I could have made a RoboCop version. As far out of every part, let me think. A lot of people asked me to do some GI Joes. I did Once a Man Cobra Commander a month ago, but other than that, I don't really care for that line. The next line I'm looking forward to doing more of is the Thundercats. Now I know they're
Mm,
bringing Thundercats over to the, you know what I'm saying? They're doing the crossover next year.
most
Like
certainly, yeah.
everything else, I don't like waiting on Mattel to give me what I want. You know what I mean? So if I can do it myself or have somebody else do it for me, that's what I'm gonna do. So the person that made me all those anti-Eternia figures, he's gonna make me some Thundercats figures, even though I already did Lion-O, I did Panthro, but I think he can do a little bit better. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So I'm gonna have him do them, and I want to get them ready in preparation for that Super 7 Thundercats Cats layer that's coming, because I'm gonna put that shit right next to Eternia, and they're gonna live right down the street. It only makes sense. You got big ass cat on Eternia, you got big ass cat on the Thundercats layer. Does this make sense?
It makes me think about the 2011 Thundercats cartoon that came out in those figures, if those heads are compatible with the Origins body, because they did the
I have
whole
to check.
line. Yeah. I mean, that was a decent line. It was made by Bandai. So those figures are usually relatively cheap. So getting those with bucks would probably be easier to get the heads for and the weapons because it's the same weapons. Um, yeah, it's an interesting concept because I was looking at a Mega Custom X and I think he worked on a Lion-O head kit and RBL 3D is working on a couple of stuff like that as well. I was looking, you ever use the website Plastic Curves to get like heads?
I haven't really heard of it. I have to check it out. But them
Plastic
other two
Curves, yeah.
guys that you mentioned, I got
Yep.
a bunch of this shit.
Yeah, Plastic Curves is a great website. Basically, any classics head they have, so you can just get it and then they'll print it and send it to you. They have the female heads, the back. They even have some weapons, armors. So when I was doing a lot of customs for the classics, if I needed like the bald Zodak, which is like Zodak with a K from the 2000X series, they have the heads. And so they have it without the helmet, with the helmet, and you can just
How
buy it.
much is it?
They're like 7, 8 bucks a head.
What?
Yeah.
Is it painted?
No, they are not painted. You're just going to get them resin printed blank. You have to paint them yourself, but yeah.
Yes. That's not that bad. They'll send me the link afterwards. I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to look into it.
absolutely. Because definitely Plus Curves is like I think they're in Canada and they do different lines from 7 inch figures. So they have the Marvel Legends bodies, they do the heads. So it's all heads, weapons, and armors and stuff for they have to be sneaky would have to do it. So they don't list it as He-Man. They list as 7 inch action figures. And you look, it's all classics heads. And if it's like the 6 inch, it'll be the Marvel Legend heads and like, and they do all that. They even like do like I say, even like the G.I. Joe heads and stuff for the small figures. They've been around for about 6 or 7 years. So I'm surprised you never heard of that website. It was like the go-to place for a long time.
I
So
try to stay very knowledgeable of the different Motu customs and stuff like that. Because that's the whole thing I've been trying to do. I've been trying to have the most unique Origins collection out there. You know what I mean? Like as far as pulling from any cool custom I see, like how I got that big ass Eternia Palace. I had to
yeah.
drive all the way to Ohio to pick that shit up. Well, I've never driven that far in my life. A 10-hour drive there and a 10 plus hour drive back. But I would do that shit again. You know what I mean? That shit is massive. It's worth it. Same thing with the customs. I will try to make every single figure that I have from another line over in the Origins buck. And if I can't make it, I'll search and I'll buy, you know what I'm saying, one off of somebody that has made it. And that's what I've been trying to do. I'm actually working on 30 customs at the same time right now. Because I went to ZoloCon yesterday and I bought a whole bunch of heads. I bought a whole bunch of animals of the kingdom,
Mm.
that Crucible, whatever line that is with
Savage
the
Crucible.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Savage Crucible, yep. I bought a bunch of their kits. And then I bought a bunch of shit off of Lee Customs. He makes a lot of old school bootleg heads and shit like that. With them old school knockoff He-Man figures. I bought all that shit. I got 30 of them. I got them all over my showcase room floor, and I'm matching up bodies right now. And I'll have that shit done in like 2 days. I got to do that between working and everything else.
The fact that you take your time out with me this and you have to work, I appreciate it. Yeah, so the Galaxy Warriors, that they have the custom heads for Galaxy Warriors. That's pretty cool because
Yes,
that's a
he's got
whole
all
line.
this shit.
That's a whole subset of fan base, the Galaxy Warriors, all the bootleg figures that came basically based on the AWA wrestling figure bodies from the early 80s. And it's so funny about those heads is because you look at them going, damn, the figure bodies, like you see they're trying to be He-Man, but they look like Tony Nese. They got 18-pack stomach instead of like a 6-pack. And you see they're going, Jesus, these figures are ridiculous. And then you see the heads like, man, those heads don't always work. They have like they remind me of the Muscle Man kind of heads, like from Kinnikuman.
Yes.
They have that weird head, but at the same time, there's something endearing about it. Because as a kid, like you'd have your He-Man figures, and then you'd have these random knockoffs, and then you'd have years later, you look into your collection, I got this shield. Whose shield is this? Oh, that's not anyone's shield. Oh, that's from Galaxy Warriors. And you never knew the name of that toy line because you got it for like $2 or whatever from a knockoff. But they have like this. Honestly, the Galaxy Warriors have such cool weapons because it's stuff that Mattel wouldn't have done for He-Man, especially the styles of weapons, because they kept it very fantasy but fake. Like the swords are real, the axes are real, but if you ever look at like Master Universe like weapons, like as the later in the line got, the weapons seemed very supernatural, fake, whatever. But did you see the Galaxy Warriors? It's like this is just an axe that's going to murder you. And it's like I wish He-Man had that. And, you look like it's cool. Manny Faces has that giant hair dryer, but this giant mace would be really cool in his hand right now.
That's why I love that stuff. Like Lee Customs, I spend $350 on all the shit that he had. He had a couple of kits. There were people in the background, people in like old Motu comics, stuff like that. I love all that shit because what I'm trying to do right now is create a whole bunch of background people for my Origins collection. Like, you've seen the last what was that? Revelations, Revolutions,
Yeah,
right when King Randor died, and then Prince Adam, he said that big ass speech, and you've
yeah,
seen all the people out there, all the random motherfuckers. Oh, I don't know if I can curse. Sorry about that, but
it's all
all
right.
all the random people out there. That's what I'm trying to make. So I got over like 200 people done already. You know what I mean? And what I'm trying to do is I'm not including a lot of different people that don't fit it. They have to meet a certain criteria to work into as like background figures. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got over 200. I'm including like 15 ones that I didn't make because they look so hot. Like that Mega Custom X, that Snake Priest. I
Yeah,
had to have
yeah.
had his ass in there. That shit is beautiful. I actually got 5 Snake Priests so far. You know what I mean? This figure is rare, and I wanted to corner the market and just own all them bitches. You know what I mean? So anytime he put one up for auction, I would buy it. And if he does one tomorrow, I'm going to buy it too because I want to own them all. I can't help it. It's just hobby. I love it.
Have you ever decided? I know you've talked about this in your videos, but like, have you ever decided to try to dip your hands into like a 3D printing?
You know what? With all the money I'm spending, I should. You know what I mean? But to be honest with you, I know a couple of guys that they can 3D print.
Hmm.
And if I got to reach out, I'll reach out to him. I got RBL 3D. He's working on a whole bunch of stuff with me.
Yeah. That guy's
And then
stuff is amazing. Absolutely.
oh, oh my God, it is. I love his stuff. Mega Custom X, he's working on this Eternian Man. For me, I'm still waiting for that shit to come in the mail. Let me think. There's a couple of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, yeah, I should invest in one, but I don't see myself doing it no time soon.
It,
A
it's
lot of
it's
people
it's
say
it's a
that
lot of
shit
work.
smells.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
I have a 3D, I have the PLA printer, so it's like more like the filament printing, and I've used it to make RBL3 prints, and I'm Patreon to Mega Custom X's page, and it works fine, and it doesn't have a scent to it. The resin, I don't know about how the resin one works. I just know with the resin printing, it's not, you can't just have a resin printer. You have to have the cleaning and the curing station, and that seems like a lot of machines to have just to print up a He-Man head. So I use a PLA printer, and I just have it encased in a fireproof kind of a container, like a looks like a big silver Ziploc bag, and it just protects the machine so nothing happens. But it doesn't have a scent to it. You don't stand there and inhale it, you'll be fine. Like it's like you said, they go
Yeah, I guess
like
just
no,
breathing that shit in. Yeah, no,
but
I ain't trying to do that. No, yeah, I probably won't. Even though I say I should, I don't see myself getting one no time soon. I'd rather use that room for more Motu displays. You know what I mean? That's what I love creating. I want to create a whole Motu world between the two rooms that I got dedicated just for that stuff.
now is there any point where you're gonna have like to make decisions on like stopping? Like I know it sounds so far off of it. Like when it's the point where you're like, okay, I think I could stop now. Like what is your end goal with the collection?
I, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to keep on going until the line stops. You know what I mean? But as far as making my own customs, it's hard. It's hard to
Mhm.
stop. I try to keep my wife away from going downstairs. I don't need her to see that shit. Because she starts complaining and all that. Like if she came into my back room right now, I got shit stacked to the ceiling everywhere, but I keep it organized. But it's kind of crazy. But I told her, hey, if something ever happens to me, you can sell all this shit on eBay. You're gonna make a lot of money. You know what I mean? That's what I tell her. But yeah, I try to keep her away from there. That's
That's
why I
funny.
got the do not enter on that door. You know what I mean?
Like
It's
that
really,
works. It's like she's like,
yeah,
can't go in there.
I try, you know what I mean? But hey, even like I got a 14 and 15 and 16-year old, and you see my basement tour. They don't go down there. They don't give a shit. They
Mhm.
don't care about the arcades. They don't care about the figures.
Oh,
They care about their tablets, and that's about it. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's fine. It keeps my shit safe. I don't gotta worry.
It's so funny. My daughter, I have a daughter, she's 13. My wife, we've been together for 30 years. And but she's an artist, so
Congratulations.
thank you, I appreciate it. She actually makes all the customs for me. Like she's an artist, so she works on it. So anything we do, it's like she does it. So like it's like, hey babe, so you want to make Thundar? And she's like, okay. And she'll make it. She's custom. Like we've done like that. We're trying to we years ago we were getting into making our own figures. So like silicone molds and doing everything. Like you see like the Craftsman and stuff like that. We were watching a lot of those channels back on YouTube, learning how to make molds and how to make figures. And so one of the first ones we did was we did the Thundar. And I wanted to take the original Ukla the Muck and Princess Ariel and scale it for Origins. And it's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. Making your own figures like that's a lot of work. I wish there was like Mega Custom X would just make that for us. It would be so much easier. Make a head and whatever, so we could put it on the Evelyn body and have it be done. But
Just
uh
ask him.
yeah, I know he's in
He's
France,
a good guy.
so no, I've bought from him before. We years ago when he had like the first couple things he did was like a Conan. I bought all his Conan stuff back in the day and stuff like that. It's just that I feel like I want to do it myself. I keep saying we. I met my wife. I'm not doing it. She's doing it, but so it's like on that project role to do things. So when you talk about your kid, it's like it's so funny. Yeah, like for a long time, my kid was always into the same stuff I was into, but now she's 13, so she's like, yeah, I think I'm done. Like you said, tablet, and they have their own world. But there are times when she'll see like when we buy stuff or we have collections or I'm reviewing stuff, and she's like, "That's cool." I'm like, "You want to look at it?" Nope. So it's like, I guess my stuff, I guess my shit's safe. I guess like years ago when the Mandalorian had came out, they had that the gunner Mandalorian like big gunner guy. Bought that wasn't her toys. It was with her like it was like Shopkins getting shot by Mandalorian guys, and all of a sudden like it's like I'm cool with that. But like those times change. Like, okay, I saw you did do sidetrack a little bit in your customs. Like you talk about like you said you won't do GI Joe, but I saw you did a Darth Vader. So would you do more Star Wars figures like that?
Well, that's the thing, right? And when I did that one, it all depends on the head. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like any custom I do, if I can find a good head, then I'll do that shit. Just like what I did just recently, Flash. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? Like, and well, what was the bad guy's name from that movie?
From the Flash
You
movie?
know his name? Yeah, no, like Flash, like Flash Gordon.
Oh, Flash Gordon, Ming the Merciless.
Yes, yes, yes. I seen the NECA figure of Ming the
Yeah,
Merciless, so I tried it. That shit worked. So then, what was it? A couple days ago, I got the Flash in the mail, Flash Gordon, and I made it, and the shit worked out perfect. It's
yeah,
all on the head.
yeah.
If I can get the good head, then I'll do it. Like I tried to do a Vegeta. I mean, at the beginning of the year, the head of them Dragon Ball figures, their head's always so goddamn small. You know what I mean? I wish they were bigger. If they were bigger, I would make every single
Mm.
Dragon Ball figure out there. You know what I mean? But
If
it's
you
all
get
in the
the
head.
Bandai model kit ones, the heads are bigger.
I
And
have to look into that.
yeah, the model kits are action figures, but you build the model kit. And it's done like how you make like Gundam, so they're on like little trees, you cut the pieces, you snap it together. Those heads are classic size, origin size heads. They're a bigger size head, those figures. Because they're like 6 inch, 7 inch. And because it's animated with the hair, it's bigger. Like I have like ones from the late 90s, early 2000s, and they're in like a bag of mystery shit that was like, what is this? Why do I have a random head of Dr. Gero? And I'm like looking at it like, oh shit. And I was looking, I pulled out a He-Man buck. I was like, maybe we could do something like that. So you should look into those model kit Dragon Balls. They're like $30 to get the kit. So it's a lighter plastic because it's a model kit piece. But if you just glue it shut or fill it with something, it would be heavier weight and it's definitely more scale to it. The action figure ones are always smaller. Bandai's action figure line, because they send me review samples. I literally have a box full of reviews of Dragon Ball Z and like One Piece figures. None of that stuff is good for Origins. But yeah, I mean that's cool. I like to see more. I think a character that would fit in that world is the Dragon Ball characters because of how massive those characters are.
And then, like, the thing is, I don't even care if they're strong. Like, when I did a Mosu Origins Doc Brown last year, that shit worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I still got the Mosu Origins Michael J. Fox. You know what I'm saying? From the Back to the Future. That shit looks good. Marty McFly.
Mm.
You know what I mean? He's all huskied out. The one from the future with the inside out pants and shit. It worked.
with the hoverboard and and the
With the
he's like,
yup, with the hoverboard, I love it. I
what's
love
he wearing
all
a
that stuff, man.
what's he wearing a life preserver for? It's like he's fine. Um, now I see when I was watching your videos with the vehicles, I see you got the vintage stuff. Is there a piece of vehicle that you haven't gotten yet that you want in your collection that you know from the Masters verse?
I got every single vintage vehicle. You know what I mean? Besides that shit from France, you know what I mean? Like the scuba gear, whatever the hell
Mm.
it is. I don't got none of that stuff. But as far as every other vintage vehicle, I made sure to get it last year, just because I wanted everything that could work with the Origins line with this one. So yeah, I got everything that I want. I can't really think of anything that I don't have.
So, uh, I don't remember if in this collection, but like, do you have figures like the Megator and Titus? Do you have those from the?
Oh, those two, yeah, those kind of countless figures. No, I don't have them. I'm thinking about getting the classics one,
They are the
just to
best
hold
one to
me
get.
over.
Yeah, they are the better
You
ones.
know what I'm
But so
saying?
the vintage ones have like they're very rare, so they're thousands and thousands of dollars. But on top of it, the classic ones are better scaled and they're better made. And I would highly suggest if you pick those up, and they should be way more affordable. Like the Shadow Beast from the Classics line and the Titus and Megator are without a doubt they work well and they look amazing because they were meant for the Classics line. They have a better detail, but they are only so many points of articulations too. They're not going to have elbow joints and knee joints because that's the thing that was forfeited to make those figures. But they are without a doubt some of the best things to get. So like Titus,
Those
Megator.
the shadow beasts. Those are the ones with the big ass hammers, right?
With the
Like
hammers
clubs and whatnot.
and the it's like a giant gorilla with a horn on the head, basically. Yeah,
Yes, yes, I bought two of those a
nice.
few months ago. I like it. I wish they had articulation, but
Yeah.
like you said, they had to sacrifice some shit. They still look good, and they still scale well with the origins.
So that means I could give you one more name is Gygor. You should look up for Gygor, which is the gorilla that was created in the prototype
I
in
did.
you see that, right?
Seen his ass. I seen
That's
his ass. I thought
that
about getting it.
it's
I
fucking
actually wanted to
awesome.
make an orchards one, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But I'm like, I'll try to
You
pick it out. I did buy that big ass red dragon.
mm,
What's his name?
Granomir.
Yes, I bought his ass from Con,
I saw
the
that in a
Maryland
video.
Toy Expo.
That you got a
Yeah,
good
that's
price on
cool.
that, honestly. That was a really good
Yeah,
price.
I was shocked at the box and all. I'm satisfied. It sits right there next to the palace. I'm so glad I got that.
See, I have the PowerCon one, which is actually green. That's from the mini comic version. There was the cartoon version, and that's the red one.
Ah,
And the green one, Grandemir, was PowerCon exclusive, and it's the same figure, it's just green. And that's based on the mini comic first appearance of Grandemir. And I have that in my collection. I won't part with that. That guy is, he just sits on your shelf. He's just this big ass baby child man thing. It's in the corner. But if you want to make a custom Gygor, honestly, the smart gorilla from DC Comics, I always forget the character's name, is very similar to the scale and size of uh I forget the game. What was that? He was a Flash villain in the Flash, not
I
Flash
know.
Gordon,
Oh, God, Gorilla Grodd. Gorilla
Gorilla
Grodd.
Grodd. Yeah, it's a basically Guy Gore's Gorilla Grodd. Like you could probably make a good custom with that figure. It probably be a lot cheaper too.
He's
But
probably right. No, I actually did. I seen some good prices on that figure you're talking about on eBay.
yeah, it's worth it.
Not too bad.
It's a solid figure, and it's similar because the body bucks are similar to the Shadow Beast because they kind of reuse parts for that. And it's a great figure because the concept. What I love about that figure's concept, it was that like we need another ride on. What can we do? Well, we have a gorilla. Let's just strap He-Man to the back of a gorilla and see how that works out. And then the guys stop, sniffing glue and like this is a terrible idea, so they never made it. But of course, if it was a prototype and a picture someone found in someone's basement, it had to be made. And that's why it comes out in classics. And then that's why I say what a lot of people miss on the classics line. You missed out on a lot of great people talking crazy about like Guy Gore for like I think on the He-Man.org there was like 28 pages dedicated to people going batshit crazy over Guy Gore. Uh I have to admit that when I watch a channel and I see what you do, and at first like your game room, I just want to sidetrack it because you missed a home arcade. That's a amazing looking game room, man. That is
I
anyone would
appreciate
be
that,
jealous
brother.
that. That is a I since I'm going to talk a little bit about the game room. When you were doing your game room and stuff, what was your goal with gaming? Were you just trying to get like just the most arcades, or were you trying to build certain things? Were you trying to what was the idea of the home arcade concept.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you how that shit started. Well, arcade one up. You know what I mean? Like, do you have
Mhm.
any of them arcade one ups at all?
No, they were supposed to send me a couple to review, but they were like then they got popular, so I never got it. So no.
Yeah, yeah, no, those. Yeah, I started early, right when they first came out with the Wave One, then the Street Fighter Two. You know what I mean? And I started buying one after another. And at the time, I only my area that I had for myself, it was half a garage. You know what I mean? So, and those things they take up a nice little bit of space.
No.
So after a nice little bit, I had like five or six. And then we ended up moving to where, because I had a previous channel. I don't know if you've seen it. I have some of my videos on this channel from that channel. My whole Friday the 13th stuff.
Mm.
That was my CT Jason channel. And from there, I moved over to the home arcade. But before that, yeah, I had more room. So I bought more arcades. And the main thing for me is like, I love the noise. It takes me back to my childhood when my dad used to take me to the arcade. And you walk into the arcade, you just hear all them games and sounds just going off. You know what I'm saying? That's just pure nostalgia. You
Mm.
know what I mean? So it's not even about the games per se. Like a lot of that shit, like eventually, to be honest with you, I got caught up into the hobby and instead of just buying them when they come out, reviewing them. I'll review one of the pictures and then never touch it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just, I got to a point to where the whole community in general, the home arcade community, it was dying out. You know what I mean? There was like three major brands that had like Act Games, they had iArcade, and they had Arcade One Up. You know what I mean? Then iArcade, they went out of business. And then the Act Games, they do their thing, but they don't really throw out a whole bunch of machines. And then the Arcade One Up, at this point, they ain't really doing nothing right now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that shit was dying off. And, I had like 30 some machines. I got like 36, 38 machines down there. I just got tired of it.
Yeah.
And one of my big hobbies that I always loved was collection figures. You know what I mean? And I've been collecting the Origins line. I probably started in like 2020, around the
Mm.
time when it first came out. But I would just put that shit in my storage unit. I wouldn't open it up. If I'm in a Walmart and I see something, let me grab it. You know what I mean? And that was it. But then once I dropped the hobby of the home arcade, I went back and I went on eBay and I started going for all those PowerCon exclusive, STCC exclusive figures. And so I got them all. And so I got caught up and I've been just trying to stay caught up ever since Wonder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when I started ordering off Mattel Creations. A lot of people missed them. I didn't miss them. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting three of them pictures and I made a video about it. You know what I'm saying? And I made a compilation video of all the people that was bitching that they didn't get it. Mad Hatter, Megan J, all the people. This is before I started talking to them. Now, me and them, we talk like every day. You know what I mean? But at the time, I thought that shit was comical. And at the time, on my other channel, I tried to post a couple of action figure reviews, and the algorithm didn't let it get out there. You know what I mean? So when I did the change to the Mr. Home Arcade, which quite frankly, that wasn't even supposed to be about, it was supposed to be about arcade shit too. It was just supposed to be a play on my other channel, like, how Hulk Hogan took the Mr. America persona,
Yeah.
but everybody knew goddamn well it was Mr. America. That was, it was Hulk Hogan. I was trying to do the same shit. You know what I mean? But then, right when I did that change, that's when the whole community and everything just got stale. So I'm like, you know what? I'm switching to Motu. And I switched over. And then I started with that first commercial that I did. And I'm like, you know what? This is kind of fun. Because I wasn't even trying to get to reviewing figures or nothing like that. I just want to do my own thing. And like, when I make them videos, I do it because I love doing it. And it makes me laugh. You know what I mean? I'm my biggest fan. I watch my videos 5, 10 times over right after I post it because I find that shit's funny. Then if other people find it funny too, that's a win-win. And now I'm kind of shocked because a lot of people find that shit funny. I would have never thought. I got a crazy sense of humor. You know what I mean? I say some outlandish stuff and people find it funny. So that it really means a lot to me. Like I was in Solo Con the other day and I had my mask on and I'm shopping for stuff. And somebody came up to me. They was like, I just want to put this inside it. Are you her? Are you him? I'm like, yeah, Mr. Home Arcade, yeah, that's me. And then, you know what I'm saying? Then he's like, yo, I watch your stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? We was talking. I'm shocked. You know what I mean? We went out talking to the man for like 10 minutes. He took me over to his booth. I bought some stuff. But long story short, like, There's people out there that really like my stuff, and it's just surprising to me. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody. A lot of people complain, "Oh, your voice, why do you sound like that?" I said, some people say I got the voice of an angel. I don't understand what the problem is. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? It's an acquired taste. It ain't for everybody, but for the people that do like it, they love it. And that means a lot to me.
But I think
That's basically it about that.
I think what's important to know is that like I think why it works and why you work is because it's legit and it's honest. Because there's nobody out there that sounds like you, acts like you, talks like you. And I think that's missing from even from reviewers because I saw back in the day, I'm friends with you probably know a guy named Pixel Dan. He's one of the famous toy reviewers in the
Oh
world.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so
I watch his stuff.
all right, so he was like one of the first big He-Man reviewers back in the day. Like he was the guy. It was a couple at the time when we started getting into toy reviews. It was Pixel Dan and a guy named Sean Long, and that was it. There was the black nerd comedy guy, and it was only a few channels. And so when we started doing it, I actually started working with Pixel Dan and the Pop Culture Network website and all these guys, and we started doing stuff. And like we felt like we had to have a because when you start listening to comments and you start reading what people say, look, I don't hear my accent. I'm from Brooklyn and it sneaks in there a lot. And you don't mean to, it's just who you are. And so I always am more conscious about it because you'll get comments saying, like, I don't understand the word you're saying. You should be like digging holes in a grave. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. That makes me feel great. And then you lose a little bit of yourself. And I think what's so good now is we've had decades of people trying to be knockoff Pixel Dans. Hey guys, I'm gonna review this, and again, it's like so like that's not you don't really fucking talk like that all the time. I know you don't. And you start seeing these guys, and they all come off sounding very disingenuous. But when you talk and when you come in, it punches people in the face with like, oh, this is legit. This is like when I found your channel, I found one of your first videos, and I can't even tell you which one I saw first, but and I'm listening to your voice and going, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, this is such a breath of fresh air because I'm so sick and tired going to channels. And there's a lot of new review guys that do toy reviews, and like they're good guys. They got very good production value. I'm not gonna knock any of them. It's just that like you see them going, I would not want to get a drink with you. Because if that's how you talk, I feel like we have nothing in common. There's no diversity in that voice and style. You all kind of have that muddy Midwest kind of bland voice, which is important for a medium where they need to be able to understand what you're saying, right? Like that's why I think some people will say your voice is whatever, but they've also said the same thing about me. Where people will talk about voices. There's a couple of channels that are just very unique, or the European reviewer. And you get these people going, I don't understand a word this person's saying. It's like, well, then don't watch the video, shut up, move on. But like what's captured people is that you don't know what you're getting from your review. You're going to get a review, you're going to get jokes, and you're going to talk open honestly about what you see. Especially when that new Attila figure came out and like you could take everything off. You knew where the
Oh,
joke was going, and we were laughing before you even got to the joke because we know where the joke was going, but you still waited for the joke to happen. But like that's the stuff like that I think why people are finding you because it's recognizable. You have a recognizable voice, brand, and style, and the earnesty. And I think that's really cool to see in toy review because, like you said, you're not sponsored by Mattel. You buy these things honestly. You can have your opinion because you're not getting paid by Mattel to say these things. And I think that's important because once a reviewer gets to a level where they're getting free stuff, you have like this fear that it won't be as honest. And I every time I watch your videos, even if you probably did get sponsored, you would not allow that. I think you would find a way to keep your earnesty. At least I hope. And
I wish, it would be nice if Mattel would give me some shit. They don't give me nothing.
they
I
don't
gotta
give
work
nobody
hard.
nothing. No, they don't. They don't.
No, they do. They give people some stuff. They give Geek Dad Life. His ass be
Mm,
getting some free shit. Sometimes it's been a while since he got some free shit. But like me and him, I used to talk to him. Then we had a little bit of a falling out. Long story. But long story short, yeah, he gets some free shit. But he's under Mattel's thumb. You know what I mean? So he's got to watch what he says.
you see,
You know
that's
what
a
I mean?
problem. Yeah. But
And
Mattel does
I don't
call
want to be
back.
like that.
No, a lot of let me tell you, for the years that I would go to Mattel press events at Jacob Javits Center, they would like it'd be like trying to pry teeth to get a review sample, and it's because they don't like it, because they don't want negative feedback. Hasbro will give, but they prefer you being a much top tier channel. They want Mattel, like Hasbro wants like 400,000 subscribers, more than that to get review samples. Some don't, like,
You
I
gotta
think,
be like Shartimus Prime level to get that shit.
and by the way, if you ever get to meet him, Russ is a lot of fun to hang out with. He's an awesome cat. He's a really cool person. He's one of the OGs. Shartimus Prime is one of the OGs. It was like him, Sean Long, and a couple other guys that started that whole toy on YouTube stuff. It was really him, Pixel Dan, and Sean Long. And Shartimus Prime level, even with Shartimus, he's kind of pulled back a bit from doing that. He's way more concentrated being a drummer because that's what he does for a living. He's a professional drummer. But yeah, those guys' levels are, but they've also been doing it for 17 years. Like Sharman's Prime's been
Yeah,
doing it for 17, Sean Long 17, Pixel Dan 16, and but they've had that buildup and they've had to eat humble pie for these toys. Now they can be a little more relaxed and do a little more fun because they've been in the business so long and they have been in the pocket of the toy companies for a long time. And I think if you keep the way you're going, especially doing stuff like, you're picking up the Savage Crucible stuff and you talk about them, do videos dedicated for those smaller channels, the bigger channels, the bigger toy companies see, well, look at the respect he gives these guys. And these guys are this style adjacent, Savage Crucibles, Animal Kingdom, the Mesozoic figures, the dinosaur stuff. Zolo himself, Mike Zolo, awesome, great. And like his stuff he's been doing that toys, his 5.5 figures for like 20 years. And like, you know, you give that much respect and interest to those kind of lines, it can show Mattel and guys like, okay, I'll give you a shot. And I think you can do that. But also Mattel don't like when people curse. So that's another
that's what I'm
thing.
saying. That's why I will never, ever be able to get in bed with Mattel because of the shit that I say. You know what I mean? And how I do my commercials and all that stuff. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like I got my own sense of humor,
Yeah, it's
just
great.
like with my Rock On commercial. You know what I mean? Did you see that shit?
I did. I've
All
I
right.
watched all your stuff, so yes, I'm well up to date.
Yeah, that one right there, you trying to get some little, you know what I'm saying? With Rock On and the cheeseburgers and all that stuff. But the shit was funny. Like that day, I was driving in the car, and that pays homage to Medicine Society. That part that I did right there
Mhm.
with Rock On. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it just made me laugh. If something makes me laugh out loud, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna film that shit up real quick, and I'm gonna make it into a commercial. And I did it all real quick in one day. I've got really good with doing them commercials. Like I've seen the progression of growth in every commercial that I do. You know what I mean? Like, did you see that last episode 2 of Drunk Man and the Masters of the Universe? Did you
Yep.
see it?
Yeah.
That shit was good. I love the way that came out, especially with the part with the Home Alone part with Orko and shit like that. I filmed all that back in January.
Oh
And
wow.
then I finally had time to finish all of it out, the audio wise. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
like it was just so much going on. And then between the time I had to move and stuff like that, I couldn't finish it. Like I put a part 1 out that had 2 parts in it, and then part 2 had parts 3 to 5, and then that final part, I did it all in a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Like a couple weeks ago. Like matter of fact, it was last week when I did the audio for that Home Alone part. And here's the thing: I don't write nothing. I don't script nothing. In any video, in any commercial, any skit, all that shit's just right off the spear of the moment. I'm looking at it and I'm saying the first thing that pops in my head, and 90% of the time that shit just sticks. And that's just it. You know what I mean? So I just make it up like I just put myself in the mind frame of the character. What would He-Man say to Skeletor at this point in time? And what would he say back to him? And I just go on like that. I know how I want it to play out, and that's all I need to know. You know what I mean? I just let it flow naturally, and I've gotten really good at it. You know what I mean? I'm loving the storyline. I cannot wait to get into the season 3 where the anti-Eternia people come over to go wage war on He-Man. You know what I mean? That shit's going to be good. I already got it planned out in my head. I just got to take the time and film it. That's it.
First, that Anti-Eterna collection has to be the biggest one I think I've ever seen. That is amazing to see
Oh,
all the figures like that, you know?
I got every single good guy so far. Besides a couple of them rolling to the sun, I didn't know I was getting them bitches. He just surprised me with them, and I'm very blessed for that. But as far as all the other ones in the line, I wanted everything. But the next wave we're gonna do is gonna be all the bad guys turned to good. Like I said a little while ago, I wanted to have the most unique Fortress collection in the world. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going for. As far as all the unique figures that I'm making, all the unique figures I'm buying off of people from all around the world. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, Megan Custom X, he's from France.
Yep.
The RBL 3D, he's from somewhere else real far. El Customizador, he's from somewhere else real far. You know what I mean? Like everybody
Yep.
that I grabbed from all through around the world, I just want a little piece of everything. Like that, the rocks that I have for that anti-Eternia playset, that was from a guy in, the fuck is he at? He's far. You know what I'm saying? Europe, somewhere out there.
Hmm.
I don't know. He sent that shit to me. Took a little bit to get to me. But it's just like, it's just amazing. It's amazing how many people from around the world love the Motu line in general. You know what I mean? It's just a whole lot. It's a whole lot to take in, but everybody is still a kid at heart and they enjoy it. You know what I mean? So it just means more to me when all these people like, oh, hey, saying hi from Germany, saying hi from, Africa, from Puerto Rico.
Oh wow.
It's just amazing to me to see all these people reach out and they actually, see the content that I'm making. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that really helps me just keep going with this. You know what I mean? It just means a lot. I love this hobby.
It's also cool because that brings like the channel realism because it's not just you going, oh, I'm doing this because I want to be a YouTuber. You're doing it because it's fun. You need a platform. It's there. That's what's great about YouTube. Um, so on the technical side, before we let you go because you got to get going, uh, what did you use for editing? So what kind of software are you using for editing?
Oh, here's the thing that a lot of people will be shocked about. I don't mess with a computer at all. I do it all on my phone.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I do it like that because I can do it anywhere I want. Like right now, to be honest with you, I'm in a parking lot right now. I'm talking to you. I wish I was in the nice man cave right now, but no, I don't got the luxury for that. My wife doesn't really like the shit that I do. You know what I mean? So I'm talking to you before I go to work. I'm out here in the parking lot busting it up. I got this app on my phone. I tell you, the secret is Pine Master. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I got the
Kindness. Okay,
Pine
yeah,
Master app. Pine Master, I paid for the paid version. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You can have that little emblem in the corner. And I've had that for about 4 years now. You know what I'm saying? I've been using that. I've been using it for a long time. If you go back and check out my CT Jason channel, back when I was like, because before when I first started on YouTube, I had a channel called Mr. T Run. And all I would do was post my videos as Jason. You know what I mean? And even from back then, still sound the same as I do now. You know what I mean? Because where the voice kind of originated from is when I was playing those games. And have you ever played Friday the 13th on PlayStation 4?
No. I
That
know
game
of
is
it. Yeah,
addictive.
yeah.
The game is like crack. You know what I'm saying? That shit is good. So you start playing it, and then you just want to finish it. You know what I mean? So leveling up to get the platinum trophy. You're playing as Jason, and Jason don't speak. You know what I mean? It got kind of bored. It took the fear out of it. Because when I first played it, I was scared. You know what I mean? So in the middle of that time, I'm playing it. Somebody starts talking all crazy. It kind of brought the fear back. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start talking crazy to people. I'm gonna see how this plays out. So I started doing it, and then it just made me laugh so much. You know what I mean? Like as soon as I found out I'm Jason, I turned the mic on and I let everybody know right in the beginning, I'm gonna fuck y'all up, and you better watch out because I'm coming. You know what I mean? So the match just pops off like that, and then you just see me just go at these people. I got so good at that game. I knew all the tricks, all the things that I'm just catching people. Tell me, motherfucker, I touch your ass, and then I just got so used to just on the fly, just saying crazy shit to people. They're cussing me out, stuff like that. I'm like, shut your guys enough. You're done. You're dead. You know what I mean? And just move on to the next person. I just love doing that. So I did a whole bunch of videos with that. I had tournaments with people from around the world. I would have them play in it, and I would watch counselors. As me as Jason, I would watch counselors fight to the death while I'm commentating the matches. So if you like my videos now, you probably would like them videos too. You know what I mean? It was called a Battle Arena Championship. You know what I mean? I did 5 seasons of that shit with people
Cool.
from around the world. And then I did a show called The Masked Jason, where I took the best Jason players and I had them play on the Smurf accounts. And I had all the different league judges from that community. They would try to, they've seen these people play all the time. They would have to guess each week who was that player. You know what I'm saying? As they go through different challenges. I did 2 seasons of that. And then after that, I moved on. That's when I moved on to the home arcade stuff. And then I wanted the one thing I took from there, still wanted to just, you know what I'm saying, do my reviews, talking all crazy. So I got a whole bunch of Arcade One Up reviews of me just talking the same way. And then when I moved on to Motu, that's the same thing that I drug from over there and over here. You know what I mean? Like you said, it makes me different.
Mm.
And it's entertaining to me. You know what I mean? So that's why I do it. And that's how I'm here today.
It's amazing to hear about you having these different, like, I guess a weird saying, like past lives of creating content. But it's like
Pretty
really,
much, yes.
but
That's
it's
why I'm used to it.
I think that's what's cool about it because like you take the knowledge of the stuff you've done before and to apply it for what you're doing. I think that's why it's clicked because if you just did this out of nowhere, it would be like a one hit, like how did you do that? But no, it's actually an evolution of who you are. If you didn't do those things before, you wouldn't have created what you know and how to on the fly made. You probably could have because it's probably part of your personality, but how to apply it into videos. And you learn every step of the way and you always get better and you do stuff. And yeah, you can see the earlier videos from now, there is a change in the style, but it's still got you still know it's you. It's not like you've changed completely, which is I think it's what the fans come to love. And I see in groups, in the Facebook groups, wherever, on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and people sharing your videos. I share your videos. You get comments all the time going, I love this guy's channel. This guy's crazy. I love it. I love it. Because it is an injection and it's like you said, it's on honesty and it's a different way to enjoy the fan base. Like, yeah, okay, we have professional media. Like you said, we got the cartoon shows, we have the toys, you can look back and get the old comics, but you're providing another little universe. That's like seeing the robot car, it's like seeing the robot chicken He-Man stuff, which is a whole like separate world. And it's fun to see like what Seth Green would do with He-Man, but see what you do it's bringing such a unique style to that world. And then and like seeing your collection, I think inspires people. And I think that's really cool. I gotta let you go, but I
Wow, I
know you
really
gotta.
appreciate that, bro. I got like another 10 minutes. It's all right.
Okay.
You know what
Okay,
I'm
good.
saying? I just want to comment real quick on that. Like when I started the Motu commercials, I didn't think I was going to take it to where I'm taking it now. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to keep everything interconnected. That's why in that playlist, I got them all in order. And I'll take some things that happened from that I did last year in the video, and I'll put it into like this episode 2 that I did. A lot of that stuff, that's the end cap on season 2. You know what I'm saying? That everything that happened from that first episode to this episode, all that shit in between, it all culminates to what happened there. You know what I'm saying? With the liquor and how Hordak ended up getting it. Now he finally got that shit back from him and all that stuff like that. Trying to keep it all connected. How I do it, I don't know. You know what I mean? I just pay attention. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep the lore correct. You know what I mean? And I just love doing it. I cannot wait to do another not anti, another Motu commercial that's featuring the anti-Eternia people so I can continue that story of when they go to the palace. You know what I mean? Like, I know how I want it to play out. Since you're watching it, I don't want to tell you because I don't want to spoil it for your ass. But cannot wait until you see it. You know what I mean? Because the story, oh my God, it's going to be good. It's going to be so good. You'll see. You know what I mean? And the same thing like with making those whole dioramas and stuff like that. All that shit just happened. Like, I don't want to be like everybody else and I just have them standing on the shelf, just front and center, just standing there, just there. You know what I mean? I want action. I want it to be eye candy. You know what I mean? When I go down there, I want it to be like if I'm going to the art museum and I'm looking at the Mona Lisa or whatnot, I want it to be enjoyable. So like every time I go downstairs, once like after I put all that stuff, I just go down there just to look at it. You know what I mean? And even if I don't got no time, my day's real busy. I just like to take a little bit of time, turn on the lights, and just look around. You know what I mean? Just take that shit in. It means a lot to me. You know what I mean? Whenever I can get a little bit of time. Just like today, I tried to take a little bit of time before the wife says, "Where are you at? Where are you at? Where's you disappeared to?" And I pop right back upstairs, down there fiddling around, making some more action figures. You know what I mean? I just enjoy doing that stuff. It's an escape from the real life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Wherever you go, that's why people enjoy this hobby so much. That's why I like doing these videos. You know what I mean? It just gives people that chance to just escape and watch something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love to do it like this. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna try. I got a Vipor coming in the mail. I'm gonna try to
Nice.
bust out the video for that. I got the cartoon collection Spycore coming, cartoon collection Clawful coming tomorrow. So best believe them 3 videos is coming this week. And I'm trying to get the customs done so I can do this massive 200 plus custom video with all the customs that I've done and how they work into every faction of the Motu world. You know what I mean? I've
Mhm.
added people to the Snake Men, to the Horde, to the good guys, Skeletor, and everybody's group. I created different fractions. I got the carnival folk people, the killer cyborg people. I'm thinking about adding the dinosaur people down there. I got a whole bunch of figures, and I can't wait till you see them all.
We're excited to see those videos. I just love when I get a notification, Mr. Homo K is in a video. I'm like, I'll tell my wife, want to watch this with me? She's like, absolutely. Save it for later because if I'm at work, I want to watch. She's like, no, no, we watch it together. We end up watching it and laugh our ass off. And that's the point because it's like we have to enjoy what we're doing because if we're not enjoying what we're doing, then why are you collecting? Because it's supposed to be the enjoyment. I feel like that gets missed on some people. Like, I collect or whatever I do. Sometimes I buy stuff and just sit there and I have to put it away because, like you said, we work, we have a whole life. And you sit there going like, oh, then what did I buy that for if I'm not enjoying it? And like that's the point. Like your collection can't just sit on the shelf being static. Like you said, the action figures, they should be posed. That's what they're created for. If you're buying something that you're never going to move, go buy a statue. These are figures. They're meant to be articulated, and they come with extra heads and stuff that it's meant to be enjoyed. And I think it's really cool to see that constantly when you're doing update videos and you're showing stuff, never once do your shelves ever look the same way twice. It's like you tell like you've moved these around and have done stuff with them, and that's cool because it's what I keep saying the word about, say it again, earnesty to like the to what you are. And I really appreciate that. And so I'm going to say to you, let's wrap this up. Anything you want to promote and also tell people how people can find you besides YouTube? Do you have like any other social medias that way people can find you? I want to thank you for being on, and now's the time to promote everything you're working on.
Yeah, I guess yeah, I do got a Instagram. It's called Mr. Eternia. I don't know if you knew that. I
Actually,
don't tell you.
yeah, I just found about it the other day because someone I was trying to find a thumbnail. I wanted to find your like your Mr. America mask image so I could make a proper thumbnail for the video. And I was on
I'll just
YouTube.
send you. I'll send you the shit. I'll send you a nice, fresh, clear image once we're
Perfect.
done.
Yeah, and also I'll say we'll have to send links and also I'll give you a list of all the links so I could put them in the description. That's off the record. We'll just I'll cut that out. But on Instagram I found you someone said I just made one of the guys that did the customs for you. He's like, I just made this for this person. I'm like, wait. I clicked. I'm like, oh shit, there he is. I'm like, and it was you. So
Yeah, I changed the name and stuff like that. I just like to mix it up. I had to mix it up because I was thinking about taking that name, Mr. Attorney instead of Mr. Home Arcade,
mm,
because I don't really fuck around with the Home Arcade stuff. You know what I mean? But a lot of people told me I should keep that name because it makes me different. You know what I mean?
it's
It's
how
not
people
another.
know who you are already. It's you don't need to change the name. That people know who you are, and the name means nothing. It's who you are if they know it. So
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely won't change the name. Then shit. But on there, yeah, my name is Mr. Attorney on there. But yeah, I just got that. I got the YouTube channel. Like I said, I named a couple videos that are coming this week. And other than that, yeah, I appreciate everybody that watches my shit. What you said earlier about how you and your wife watch the videos together, I heard a couple other people tell me that, and I'm shocked. You know what I mean? I'm shocked. Women find this shit funny too. You know what I mean? 'Cause some of the shit that I say, it's a little out there. You know what I mean? But as long as people find it enjoyable, that means a lot to me. You know what I mean? I don't try to offend anybody directly. I just say the shit that's on the top of my head, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's just how I try to keep it.
it's you could tell it's done for fun. I mean, I think the idea is a good way for people a litmus test of how people can know if they got a good partner. Sit down and watch this with me. I'm gonna show you some of the most vulgar, funniest shit. Do you like it? Is it gonna be funny for you? Like, when me and my wife first started dating, I showed her like Marx Brothers, and then I showed her like Arsenic and Old Lace, and then I showed her like Street Trash and Microwave Massacre. I'm like, okay, if you could sit through all these movies, I think we're gonna be okay together. And like you could go
You
from like
got a connection.
yeah, it's me weird ass comedies from the 1930s with the craziest sense of humor and horrible, horrible underground horror movies. Let's split in the middle and see what we got. And then, I think that's good because you see people should have connections together. We don't have to like everything together, especially if you're a couple, you want to be any kind of relationship, but that partner should like and respect the stuff you do. And I think that's cool. Like when you hear other people watching your videos as a couple, as a family, you get it like that's amazing because you didn't just affect that one collector. You probably affected the person who isn't a collector, but they got it. They understood the assignment and tuned in. And I think that's cool to hear. It's not just someone like me, it's other people, which is awesome. And once again, I want to thank you for being on. I appreciate this. This is great talking to you. And
Oh, I loved it.
yeah, I,
I definitely do it again, lady. There's a lot of your past. I'm here for you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I greatly appreciate that you reached out to me. You know what I mean? It's shocked. Anytime that I hear them say somebody reach out to me, ask me to do something like this, why not? You know what I mean? We're all fans of the same shit. If y'all enjoy my shit like that, yeah, I would love to be there. You know what I mean? It means a lot to me that you actually take the time and sit down and watch the shit that I make. So I thank you for that. You're very knowledgeable of the Motu line and hearing your backstory on how you've been with the classics all the way from the beginning. Started yourself with Pixel Dan and the other guys, stuff like that. That's amazing, brother.
yeah.
You
So
know what I'm saying? Kudos to you.
it's cool to see you and like the newer guys, like the Mega J and all these guys, and like seeing them, it's like they're like the new wave of old cats. Because we're all about the same age. I'm 47 years old, and I'm looking at these guys like, yeah, we're all about the same age. And it's like so funny to see like y'all find each other, you find these clicks, and it works. Like I seen you make jokes with the other guys, and you doing the video, and you busting their chops, and they're busting. That's the way it should be. And like you start making these connections and clicks of communities, and I think that's what also will strive you because their fan base knows you from this, and your fan base knows them from that, and you can work together. And I think it's really cool. And also, I love watching that because, like you said, you just didn't know about the other stuff. So I come in watching a guy who's in love with what he sees, and everything's new, and that makes it fun for me because I'm watching you learn as you collect and you show it in videos. And to me, that's the greatest thing in the world. Because we can, as older cats who, like you said, I was doing this for a lot longer, we could be very jaded in our fan base. And we go, oh, why don't you know all these random facts? Well, what the fuck? You got your own life to live. You don't. We're the psycho. We're the asshole psychos that have been here from the beginning who have this knowledge. And I don't need to earn actually nobody. I'm just watching you learn, and like when I see you pick up a figure you didn't know too much about, but you figured it out and you learned about it, and you didn't give a you like when you I think it was with either Fangor or something. You said, I don't know much about this guy, but I don't give a shit. I love this fucking figure. That right there is like, yes, okay, that's what it should be. Like knowing the knowledge of the figure doesn't make the figure any cooler. Is the figure cool currently that you're collecting? You're not collecting its history, you're collecting the figure. And I love to see that because I think more of the that's why I see a lot of the older fan base that's been around has like jumped onto you guys because I think I'm only speculating. It's because the way I feel is watching you guys like opening up everything new, and also with your knowledge, or the people who haven't done yet, who find your videos funny, will now go into collecting, and will have the knowledge that you bring into them. It's kind of like this passing of this torch, passing the torch. I think that's the best thing in the world, and I love seeing these crossovers you do with these other guys because you're all like this newer clique of fans, and I just love it.
Oh yeah, I've had Mega J. Like anytime I need him to make a little part for a video, or something, 'cause he's got knowledge on shit that I don't have. You know what I mean? That's why I brought him into a couple videos to talk about some anime figures
Yep.
that I might not know shit about. You know what I mean? He knows that shit.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
with
love listening to him talk.
the was it the Cobra figure? I just was going.
Yes.
That shit made me laugh my ass off because I'm a big ass loser. I was like, I love Cobra. That series is hysterical. It's like the oldest school. It's like James Bond in space kind of a series, and he's got the one arm with a cannon. He smokes a cigar, no fucks given. He's got a sexy robot chick, and I'm like, this is the greatest shit ever. And like, I like how you just were honest. You could have faked the front, done the research, and wikied it, but you didn't and you got someone involved who would know and bring their knowledge in. I thought that's so much more fun, and it also
Yeah.
it's great.
And then even after he said what he had to say, then I went in and still gave my review on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I love it. And I have
I
to say
love
that that
doing this
figure,
stuff.
that figure is amazing. Once again, that's Mega Custom X because that's a that guy keeps doing amazing. I saw when he posted it, and I said to my wife, "I bet you this is going to be in a home arcade video soon." I
You
showed it to
goddamn right.
it's
Yo,
like there, sure, like, there it is. I was like, that is so
I
awesome.
tell you right now, every single figure that he brings out, if I don't have it, I'm gonna win that shit. You know what I mean? That shit ain't easy. Let me tell you that I got my sniper gun. You know what I'm saying? I'll be sitting right there watching that thing. I put the first bid and then I put the last bid. You know what I mean? It all comes down to that last shot. You know, it gets down to that last 7 seconds, and I shoot that big old sniper rifle. Bam! You know what I mean? It's not, no, it's not, nothing's going down with me walking away with this shit unless I have it. And then, like I said, I make exception. If it's one of them snake priests, I think I'm going to keep buying them. Until I get like 10 of them bitches, I can't help it. That's a sexy ass figure. I want to corner the market with all the snake priests until Mattel brings that bitch out. You know what I mean? I want to have them all. I can't help it. It's part of the addiction of this hobby, which is a whole different thing that I'm sure you can understand and you've seen in your time doing all this. You know what I mean?
It is an addiction, but it's a good addiction.
It's safe. Yeah, I could be out in the titty bar, you know what I'm saying? Spending money on hookers and shit. You know what I mean? No. I could use this money in a safe way. You know what I mean? I'm just buying toys. I'm going to tell my wife, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing nothing wrong. You say, like, here's my thing. As long as my bills are paid, my kids are taken care of, the rent is, you know what I'm saying, taken care of, the wife's all right. If I got some extra money, it shouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? If I go on a Walmart hunt, trying to find a couple random figures and I buy them real quick, it shouldn't be an issue. As long as it's out of sight, out of mind. That's the other thing too. You know what I mean? She don't need to be seeing all the time. Like today, for instance, I went to Ollie's, I bought 3 Ric Flair figures because that's a good buck. You know what I'm saying? This shit's only $3.99. Then I went to Walmart. I got the Muhammad Ali WWE superstars just because that's a rare one to get. If I see it, I'm gonna buy it all day. Same thing with Andre the Giant.
Yeah,
And
those
then
are
I
hard to
bought, who
get.
else did I buy? I bought Clam Champ because I needed the buck for a figure that I'm making and shit like that. And then, you know, I make sure I'm just see me bring it in the house. I sneak that shit in the basement, you know what I'm saying? Put it away, and then I go back on with my day. Like nothing ever happened. You
I
know what
got,
I mean? Like
I
that's how you
got,
gotta do it.
I gotta admit that your toy hunting is pretty impressive because I in New York City we don't got Walmart like that. In New York's like, no, we're not having Walmart. We're not gonna let you have Target that much. So whatever we do have is usually has nothing. So I go to Jersey for like this place called Edgewater, New Jersey, where they do like the Japanese markets and stuff. So we hit up the Walmart over there, and I walk in, going, finally I get to go to a freaking Walmart. I walk into Walmart, and it's just a whole stack of like Thunder Lips Hulk Hogan, and I'm like, I,
Yes.
it's like there's like 30 of them just sitting there on the shelf, and I'm like, nothing else, huh? No, we got nothing else. Great. I'm glad I made a trip out here.
That's what happened today. I went to the other Walmart and they had what 7 of them bitches with his red pants and his
Yeah.
glasses on. That's all they had. A couple Kane figures, and that was it. The other
You
one
know,
had a whole bunch of Kane figures.
it's like
Shit's crazy.
$22. You said they're 22. I was like, no, man, that should be a $3 figure. If they're clogging the peg and not doing nothing, knock it down. You said at least you can use it for customs, but not if it's just sitting there for $22. That's
Oh
ridiculous.
no! That's just why I go to Ollie's. You ever been to Ollie's before?
I've never been to an Ollie's because we don't have anything near us here.
Oh, Ollie's, it's a shock. They be having a whole bunch of stuff, whole lot of Marvel Legends, shit like that. I grabbed a whole bunch of stuff. I got some stuff taped that I meant to do some shorts. Like, you know, I tried to save my shorts for the Motu hunts and stuff like that. I got a couple I didn't post. I probably should post some bitches. I went one to a flea market. Found a whole bunch of good stuff there. Then I got one in the alleys. I gotta edit that shit up. Back when I got that green bull head. And I made the green bull, then I got the couple other ones. You know what I mean? There's a
Hmm.
whole bunch of shit. I just love doing this stuff, man. It's a great hobby, and I greatly appreciate that you found my channel. You know what I'm saying? I greatly appreciate that you told me that people share my shit.
They
I'm
do.
shocked. Because like I said, it's an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they give it a quick taste. Oh, why are you screaming all the time? Why did you sound like that? You just shut the fuck up. Just don't watch. You
Just
said some
watch.
people,
Yeah.
oh, I just gotta mute it. If you want to mute it, fine. And I'm still gonna put some crazy ass shit on the screen. You know what I mean? That's why I got them backgrounds. I try to have stuff so nobody got. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going out their way to create these whole worlds. You know, in the background, like sometimes in a couple videos back when matter of fact, I'm gonna bring that out again. I'll be having He-Man just do random shit in the background. Every time the scene changes, he's doing something different. You know what I'm saying? I did that with my April O'Neil review video.
Maybe
The
it's in the
Turtles are
background.
Greatest by
Yeah.
April
Yeah.
O'Neil. Yeah, he's just messing with her and stuff like that, and she knocked the shit out of his ass. Just little things. You know what I mean? Just little things that just catch your eye. I just like to be different.
Yeah. I think
And
it's important.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's important. Yeah, I like to separate myself. Like, yeah, like Pixel Dad, he's got his own thing, and he's really just into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, hey, it's Pixel Dad. Da, 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 da. You know, and that's good for him. That's how he's been doing it.
Yeah.
I
That's his. That's
just
his
can't do
thing.
it
Yeah.
like that.
No, and that's
That's his
what.
thing.
Well, that's because that's what he started with, and people emulated that. What's cool is that you have to find your way of doing stuff, and like some people just really don't know how to be that person. You have the personality to be that way, and that's why you see your. I see your growth. I think I started watching your channel. It was only a couple of thousand subscribers. Now you're up to what, almost over 8,000 now, right?
Oh, fuck, I wish. No,
No,
man, I'm at
really?
6 something.
Oh, you're 6. Okay,
Yeah, it's
but
like,
that's still a jump, especially for doing this only for a couple of years and in a niche collector thing. Like you don't really like
yeah,
a lot of
plus
these
I
guys
don't
channels.
sound like everybody else. You know what I'm
Does it?
saying? That's a big deal. If I didn't curse and all that stuff, I'm sure I would have maybe more subscribers. That's what a lot of people tell
Mm,
me. I don't care.
no.
Like I told you from the beginning, I do this because it's entertaining to me. I love watching my shit. And
Mm.
now that I find out that other people like watching it, I'm just gonna keep doing me. You know what I mean? And if people want to keep on watching, I greatly appreciate it. I
If
try
you
to take care of everybody that watches my stuff. I try to do giveaways all the time.
Yep.
Channel members, they even get even more giveaways. You know what I mean? I just like to give back.
you can't change who you are because you change who you are, then you're not going to be genuine and your videos are not going to be fun. You have to stay the course, and if the people don't like it, well, there's other channels out there. Like they can go to anybody else to find that random thing they want. And people do keep coming back because they see the numbers on your videos. And they're so full of it that they're not going to watch you because if that was the truth, those numbers wouldn't be there. Because you know what? You're getting the figures. I know you're getting figures ahead of most people because you are like, I'm getting it from eBay if I have to get it. I need this figure. And you get figures way above anybody else. And so that brings people to come to your channel that want to see that review before something else. And so they're getting to learn who you are. And they know that you're going to get it and you're going to talk about it. And that's what's cool. And you do it on your backdrops of your worlds that you created. It's not on a white box. It's not on a little turntable where you sit there and you bend the elbows with the articulation. We know what the articulation is. It's just get to the thing.
Yes,
And it
that's what I'm saying.
it's so
That's why
funny.
I don't got a turntable. I've thought about that shit, but I'm like, nah, I like the way I do it. I like to break it down, start from the bottom, work my way up,
Yeah.
turn that bitch around, show it off, and then just start mixing and matching and just whatever pops in my head. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I've gotten pretty good at it.
No,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
should.
Especially seeing all these pieces all the time. Like, what was the last video I did? The last review video. Shit, I forget. It was on one of the figures just came out. What was it? I don't know. But long story short, just looking at it was the Leatherhead.
Yeah.
The
That's what I
Leatherhead
did.
turns a great skull. Looking at the body parts and how I do all these customs, I immediately know that came from Fangor. You know what I'm saying? And that chest, though nobody else got that Leatherhead chest. the chest buck with the
Mhm.
lines in it. That's something I wish they would have came out with Fangor because it matches with his body. Just little things like that. So I try to show all that different stuff in the video. A lot of people be curious about this shit. A lot of people, if like who was it with? Lord Grasp and Terror. Those are some hard figures to get for some people. Some people it might be easier if they just make them bitches. So I broke it down how you make both of them bitches. I made a terror figure over a year ago, and I compared mine to that one. I got pretty much spot on. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how you want to do it, how you want to collect. And I try to put some options for people when I do the review videos. Like I told you, I didn't plan on doing review videos, but I felt like, you know what? These people are looking for that. So I'm just going to give my spin on that shit. You know what I mean? And then once I'm caught with that, I like to do review videos on customs and stuff like that because it's more than just the Motu line. There's a lot of people that dedicate their time and effort to create just amazing masterpieces that complement the Origins line. And I love to buy it. So I love to showcase them people any chance that I get.
Well, I would say it's so funny. Really quick side agenda before I let you go. You talk about the Lord Grasp and the other figure, and I remember when we used to do the podcast for He-Man.org, where we would work on the PowerCon exclusives. We were working with Mattel to make those figures be PowerCon exclusives for the classics line. And I remember sitting there with the guys, and they were going through the model sheets and part numbers for the molds to tell Mattel these feet are from this guy and this guy. There's actually one more figure they haven't made yet. He's got like, Fisto's head and armor from like somebody else. I forget the character's name. And God, what's his name? He's got green and I'll think about it later. But he was part of the three set that came with the PowerCon exclusives. And they would say, okay, you need Fisto's head, you need Clamp Champ's armor, you need this for this, and they were pulling all the parts
Oh,
numbers.
was it some more or some shit? Is
Yeah,
that the
some
guy you talking about?
he's got the Fisto's head, but he's a dark skinned character and he has green armor and he's got a cape.
Yes.
Okay, I forget his name. So
Yes.
so that guy, they were part of a three pack for the classics. And I was on the podcast and we were off talking, like not on the podcast, but like talking with Mattel as we were going over the parts list and figure out what we needed to make those figures. And it's so funny when you sit there and you look at it and you're going, okay, I got this guy. You're doing the same thing for the fans. What these guys were trying to tell Mattel what to do to make these figures. Because at the time, there was only these sketches of these figures that were like supposed to be concepts that a toy guy that was working for Mattel's like, hey, we can make this line longer with all these reused parts and we can make these three guys. That's where the White Ninja came from, which is it's a
Samurai.
Slamurai, and he was just a black and white drawing, and it was just a prototype because then we could use Ninja, or we can make a white Ninja with glow in the dark pieces, and that was like never made. And so PowerCon's like, we can make these because you literally have all the classics pieces that we need. And Mattel's like, it's going to cost a fortune. They're like, no, it's not. And here, and you're doing the same thing just with your eyes and to make figures. And that's so cool to see how you equate and how even like with Mattel didn't know how to equate it at the time. So it's really cool to see that. That's big fucking
I
thumbs up right now.
appreciate that, man. Been paying attention to this shit for a long time. I tend to just pick that shit up. You know what I mean? That's how I've been making these figures in my basement. I wanted to send you a picture before we started this just to show you what I was working on. I forgot to take it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
just a little example, like I'm sure you've seen my video where I went over, what was it? Custom making 101.
Yep.
And I
I watched
show
it.
a
Yep.
tour of my whole area. Yeah, that one. There's a lot more shit back there now, let me tell you. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to work back there. I can't wait until I get off work tonight. I spend another hour or so trying to configure them figures together. So I got to take my ass back to work again. You know what I mean? All that shit ain't cheap, bro. I got to make that money to buy more figures. You know what I mean? Shit, especially if I'm going to try to get them first. It's all about, I don't mind paying to play. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay to play sometime. And I don't mind doing it and get them figures early. I don't like hunting. I'm tired of toy hunting. Especially nowadays, shit is hard. All these scalpers just buying that shit up. You know what I'm saying? That the Walmart's that my go-to Walmart. Now they don't ever got no Motu. It's not because they stopped selling it. It's because motherfuckers get up earlier than me and they buy all that shit up. You
those
know what I'm
guys
saying?
go
So
and they have a friend at the store, they pay them a bit. This has always been in the collector's market. This is even back in Toys R Us days that they would like slip the guy $50. So let me get in. If you see this, call me first. And the kid's like, I'm making no money working at Walmart. I just got $50 to tell a guy to come early for some toys. I'm gonna
ah,
call that guy, so that's the problem. But
I thought about doing that shit. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I mean? I was
yeah.
gonna ask somebody, you give me the inside scoop. When y'all do the shipment and that shit comes in, I'll be right here.
What
But
do you
I'm
gotta
like, no,
do?
because I was getting lucky. I was getting lucky. I found Warcraft and Terror on the shelf. I was shocked. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's from my go-to Walmart. Ever since I posted that video, maybe people figured out what Walmart is. I don't find nothing there no more. It's a shame. You know what I'm saying? That's
That's
that's why I stopped posting them for a little while. I had to test it out. I'm like, let me just stop for a little bit because maybe that's why the well is dry. You know what I'm saying? I cannot milk the well for no more. But like I said, just gotta say, it's all about the hunt. I do like hunting, but I'll pay to play when need be. You
yeah,
know what I
I
mean? I love
I
to
can't
stay
do
on
that.
eBay. I love to stay on what's that other one with the M? Mercia. See,
Macari.
yes, Macari. Oh, I've been loving Macari. I bought so much shit off Macari in the past couple weeks. All that new shit that I got coming right now, it came from Macari.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I used to get a lot of shit. They say don't talk about Fight Club, the Paul Mart. You know what I'm saying? He's slipping. He's slipping up because he was giving people that shit early. But then with these last couple waves that came out, he don't bring it out.
He got in
I'm getting
trouble.
that shit quicker.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he got
had
in
to get in
trouble.
trouble.
Yep, he did.
You heard about that shit? He did get in
Yeah,
trouble.
because it was all people all over the Facebook groups and on Instagram, like, yo, Paul Marzai. They're like, I don't know how he's getting away with this. And all of a sudden, yeah, this ain't happening no more. Well, what do you think happened?
Ah,
People ran their mouth. I mean, like, it's what
they
happens.
ran their goddamn mouth. Shit. I was hoping that wasn't the case, but it
Yeah,
is. I
100%.
figured it said so. I was so pissed. Me and a buddy of mine, you know, said we be busting up. Because everybody, you know what? You said it just like you said, you run into people around your age that are into the same stuff. Y'all start conversating. We
Hmm.
start talking shit. We're like, what the fuck is going on with Palmar? You know what I mean? But hey, you just told me right now he got caught doing that shit. Too many people ran the goddamn mouth. They didn't pay attention to the slip. I wouldn't put it out there. I wouldn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? When I was getting it from him, now that I'm not, yeah, I'll tell people to get off eBay. But Mattel don't give me shit. Or I might be like, yeah, this was sent to me by Mattel. Now I'm just kidding. They don't send me nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might have somebody say that shit tomorrow about the Viper figure. You know what I'm saying? I cannot wait to review that one. I'm so curious. It's because it looks like the part on the turn of your playset with the whole neck and shit
Yeah,
like that, the whole
that
head.
looks so cool. Absolutely.
Oh, I can't wait to try the pieces to see if I can put other shit on there. That snake head, that looks good. And I'm sure you've seen all the shit that's coming from Mattel for next year. As
Yeah.
far as all these lines, like that's something I meant to say a little bit earlier about how they didn't finish out the Origins line. I believe they didn't do that shit because they know if they finish out the Origins line first, a lot of people might drop off. You know what I mean? A lot of people are into this just to complete the Origins line. That's why they just gonna keep on
It,
just slow feeding us some things. Like you
it's
said with the
classic stick
Real
figure.
Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some bullshit. But here's the one thing I can say: this year compared to last year, I've seen a big growth in Mattel because they brought out the cartoon collection, the Turtles and Grayskull line, and they are popping them bitches out
Yeah,
so fast.
those Turtles ones did way better than the WWE ones, personally. I was disappointed that they stopped the WWE ones because there was so much creativity they could have done. There's so many professional wrestlers that could have been perfect for Masters, and they didn't do that, and they just stopped. And I think that was more of a WWE end than it was a Mattel end. But the Turtles was the honest God when He-Man died off, Turtles took over. And the same people who worked on Mattel for Masters transitioned to working for the Turtles line. That's why you see so many comparable styles of toys that the Turtles would come out with their vehicles and play sets and the way the figures were action posed. It was the same guys that worked for Mattel when Mattel was closing up shop. A lot of stuff they didn't do a lot of boy toy lines in the late 80s, early 90s. Went over, worked for Playmates, and started doing the stuff for the Turtles. And that's why you see a lot of that comparable. So the crossover makes 100% sense because there's so much connective universe with that in terms of just behind the scenes and that toyeticness. And that's why the turtles, every single turtle villain would work as a Masters villain. And that's so great to see this line go.
They're killing it. They
Yeah.
are absolutely killing. Every single wave gets better and better. And the shit they showed us at San Diego Comic Con, I cannot wait. The crossovers are now they're going into the snake people. You know what I'm saying? Turning
Yeah.
everybody versions of snake men, shit like that. That shit is amazing. I'm loving all the new parts. As somebody that loves to just customize figures, it's like Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I cannot wait. Same thing with the cartoon collection. At first, you know, I was like, I don't know, but they're getting good. It's getting better and better. I cannot wait to see the figures that are coming in the mail tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Clawful and the Spikor, they look a little bit different. I'm curious if Spikor's best comes off. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple little things, couple little questions that will be answered when I do those review videos. I promise you that.
Well, I'm gonna let you go at that. And I want to thank you again for hanging out. Guys, don't forget to go to Mr. Hoboken's channel, subscribe, like, comment. Don't talk shit about this man's voice because I have to smack him because the guy is awesome and this is why he is who he is. And I want to thank you for your time and good luck with work tonight.
Oh, thanks, brother. Shit. I might end up calling that shit off. It's raining right now, and I cannot stand working outside in the rain.
Oh
You know what I
man.
mean? So I'm probably gonna go home. I'm gonna make some figures. That's why I end up busting up with you some more. I could probably talk to you ass for hours. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this hobby, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? When you speak to somebody else that enjoys it as much as you do, you know what I'm saying? It's like those old childhood friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just busting it up again. So yeah, I had a great time on here.
I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate you inviting me. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's all I can say about that, man. Thanks again.
All
We
right,
will
man.
talk again. I promise you that.
Absolutely. Shoot me an email and send me the links and I'll send you that link for the plastic curve stuff. So,
Yes, sir.
all right. Have a good night, man.
You too, brother.
Okay.
See y'all later.
Later.